the Black Lives Matter came about, Ferguson, we started talking about using this term. They weaponized the term, they politicized it. And we had been fighting for the ideology, the belief that Black Lives Matter, right? Mm-hmm. This is not about an organization. It is not about money. It is just basically about the fundamental right to be a Black person in America and have what is granted to you by this, alleged Constitution. Mm-hmm. Now we're seeing it with defund the police. And Barack Obama made a statement about it. And we're going to play the video for those of you who didn't see Obama.
I guess you can use a snappy slogan like defund the police, but you've lost a big audience the minute you say it, which makes it a lot less likely that you're actually going to get the changes you want done. But if you instead say, let's reform the police department so that everybody's being treated fairly, divert young people from getting into crime. And if there's a homeless guy, maybe we send a mental health worker there instead of an armed unit that could end up resulting in a tragedy. Suddenly, a whole bunch of folks who might not otherwise listen to you are listening to you. So the key is deciding, do you want to actually get something done, or do you want to feel good among the people you already agree with?
Who is he trying to fool? Like, does he honestly believe that there are going to be people who we can convince about this, right? Because there are people who have looked at everything that has happened with police brutality across this country. One of the first images I remember was Rodney King, right? So we've been seeing this front and center since Rodney King back in the 90s. And here we are still doing the same thing. So, I'm really disappointed that Barack Obama ain't really learned nothing while he was in the president of the United States, right? Because he should really understand very clearly that we are not going to convince any moderate Republicans to do anything with us, anything. They won't even save their own damn lives, right? They won't even put on a mask to save the lives of their grandmother or their children or whatever. So why would we ever think that it is a good strategy to try to appeal to people who can't even see our suffering in the first place?
Yeah, I'm tired of us being told to police our words, to mind our words, to appease a group of people, like you say, that don't see us anyway, right? We are always being told, even with Black Lives Matter, we had the pushback from All Lives Matter, but it just became, why is it that the left always feels like they have to be, they have to pander? Because that's damn right pandering.
I don't know the answer to that. I actually have to chew on that for a little while, but I think that it could be more nefarious. I think that it could be that Barack Obama knows exactly what he's doing, right? I started off by saying, well, maybe he didn't learn anything in the White House about how unmovable Republicans really are. But the fact of the matter is maybe he actually knows exactly what the hell he's doing. And he has a vested interest in protecting the power structure as it is right now, because the power structure preserved and took care of him pretty good. So there are a lot of Democrats who actually are in lockstep with the policing agencies across this country. So of course they don't want to see them defunded.
And I just think that we have to stop minding our words. We have to stop being afraid of revolution. I talk about it all the time, because what we have been experiencing for so long, and all of the trying to accommodate our oppressor has not worked.
No. At all, at all, by design, right? Because the oppressor has set out rules that are disguised as civility, but civility itself is a tool of keeping the powerful powerful.
Yeah, and why is it? It's that church that got shot up, and the first thing they asked was, "Do you forgive?"
Jesus.
It is unbelievable how we're constantly being told that we need to watch our words, mind our words. Yeah. Defund fucking police is not abolish the police.
Right. Because really, you remember clear as day, nobody in the street was chanting defund the police. They were saying abolish the police. So defunding the police is the compromise.
Right. I think that one of the biggest problems that I have is when people say to me, and people have been very aggressive and actually violent with violent threats towards me when I hear cops say my job is to get home, and it's like, no, your job is for me to get home. I'm tired of hearing y'all saying y'all tired. This is your job.
Right.
Defund the police is the solution for you to not be tired, because we're removing certain responsibilities from you. Right. So I just
but they don't want that though. See, here's the thing. Like they have billion-dollar budgets in cities, you know what I mean? That like it makes up 40, 50, 60% of their budget, right? It's obscene. And they don't want to get rid of those dollars, period. Who and what organization ever wants to actively give up money? So it's not a matter of them being more efficient. It's not a matter of a better allocation of resources. Police don't care about that. They just want those dollars to come into their coffers so that they can buy their new tanks.
You know, it's really interesting. I mean, I follow you on Twitter, and you don't mince words, and you really go in. And I'm like, because it makes me feel like I'm okay. People get really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But white people who are like really triggered, and Black people who like to pander to white people, don't realize that every single fight for us to have freedom has been a revolutionary thought at its beginning.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Nothing like, and then you said something in your opening monologue where you were like, it really is progress in this country has come on the backs of Black, brown, and indigenous people in this country, very specifically, right? And so it is the people who have what this country needs, the truth serum, right? The antidote to the problems of this country, are the ones who are told to be quiet and to be civil and to watch your words and watch your tone. Don't say it like this, say it like that, because if you say it like that, what it actually does is it helps protect the power structure as it is.
Yeah, and it's exhausting. And those of us who fight this fight are really tired of it. Yeah. And we don't want to hear it anymore, because remember the civility talk a few years ago? It was the whole, we have to be civil. And I'm tired of oppressed people being blamed for their oppression.
Come on.
One, and then told that they need to be kinder to the people who have the feet on their neck. So Jamal Bowman had a response to Obama. And this time his connection wasn't
cut. I love it.
And so I wanted to share with the people, because people are really they get real triggered about cops. And you know what people forget is cops are blue collar workers, and so many people have them in their families and in their habitats because they are poor people, and this call to action is actually to make it better for them. It's to create a better system so that they don't have to go around killing Black and brown people. Jamal is take a look at this clip.
Defund the police. It's bad messaging because it turns people off to the real reforms that you are trying to put forward. What is your response and your take on that? Do you think there's something to that?
Defund the police does not mean abolish the police. It means a dramatic reduction in the number of police in our poor communities, and particularly our poor Black and brown communities. Historically, when our communities have needed jobs, they didn't bring us jobs. They brought us police, and they created a system of mass incarceration. And we live in a country where if you're Black or brown, you're more likely to be killed by police, and more likely to be incarcerated, and more likely to not afford bail. So we're focusing on this slogan, defund the police, but where are the resources to bring jobs into our communities? Where are the resources to fully fund our public schools? Where are the resources to deal with the issue of housing and food insecurity? We're not talking about any of that. We're worried about a slogan. And lastly, only 5% of police work is focused on violent crimes, rape, homicide, aggravated assault. The other 95% can be handled by other agencies, mental health institutions, domestic violence professionals, etc. So we've been doing policing all wrong for decades. In some cities, 40% of the budget goes toward policing, and police are terrorizing Black and brown communities. The evidence is clear across the country. So we have to do something different and not allow Republicans to flip a talking point on its head and make us respond to it. This is about reimagining our country and building back better in a way that uplifts Black communities and not leaves them oppressed.
Mm.
So it's only a few of the Washington people who speak that way, and we got to protect them at all costs because they come for them. I wanted to ask you, in watching what's been happening with law enforcement in this country and our communities, do you think that there is a road to resolution in the near future for us?
In the near future, I don't know. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how hopeful I am for the near future because there's a lot of work that has to be done. With one exception, here's my optimism, right? I do think that progressivism is on the ascendancy. I think in terms of leaders, both political leaders as well as organizers in the streets and just revolutionaries and radicals in the streets. It is definitely on the ascendancy in that regard. It's on the ascendancy. Progressivism is on the ascendancy with regard to the institutional power that we have, our ability to fundraise and organize and run people for office and to primary people. Like we are really getting to that place where we have enough institutional power, media wise, right? Where all the different shows that are out, all the different media, independent progressive media networks, there is a bright future that is progressive. I just don't know how soon that tide is going to turn. My hope is certainly before I check out of here that we could see some actual progress in this country.
I feel you.